The House of Parliament debates BAICO CLICO arrangements, Roseau Primary School Student tops Grade 6 National Assessment, and new Centenarian believes he has more years ahead. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Shaakira Pierre.
And I'm Kerdisha. Stay with us for details of the headline stories after this.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
Thanks for staying with us. The House of Parliament met on Monday to give consideration to 5 main agenda items. By press time, 2 bills had been debated and passed. The Money Laundering Prevention Act was successfully amended to broaden the definition of the crime as well as the scope of law enforcement. That bill was unanimously approved. Much more debate took place on a bill to establish a legal framework to continue addressing the financial fallout which follows the collapse of regional insurance giants Colonial Life Insurance Company, CLICO, and British American Insurance Company, BAICO, in 2009. This framework will serve the countries of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and the Bahamas, where BAICO is registered.
The Monetary Council appointed a core committee to deal with the day-to-day operational matters of the resolution of the insurance concerns, while the Council continued to oversee the activities. Among the actions which had to be taken was the appointment of judicial managers who have provided the technical guidance on the solutions which have been approved by the Monetary Council and adopted and implemented by the ECCU member states. Thus far, a resolution strategy for dealing with BAICO policyholders has been approved. In that regard, with funds provided by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, a number of small policyholders were paid amounts that fell due from BAICO. The remaining BAICO business was transferred to Surgical Insurance, but those people and institutions who invested in annuities have not recovered their investments.
CLICO still remains largely unresolved. A uniformed law was therefore determined necessary for 8 ECCU states and the Bahamas. The Plan of Arrangement, BAICO and CLICO Act of 2016 was endorsed by both sides but not before some stimulating discussion. Both sides support the OECS government's marked efforts to rescue as many policyholders as possible. The opposition raised some dissatisfaction with what it considers inactivity by regional government, including Dominica's. The Honorable Finance Minister advised that that is not the case. He referenced the financial commitment from the government of Trinidad since Trinidad has taken over the assets of BAICO. Here's an excerpt from his statement.
Based on our negotiations with Trinidad, where Trinidad government agreed to give us in the OECS $100 million as part of Trinidad's contribution to the resolution involving British American. They would have known, Madam Speaker, that we in the OECS paid millions of dollars to persons who had invested in British American. And every person who invested $30,000 or less got paid in full, Madam Speaker, in regards to our efforts at the OECS. And the records will show, Madam Speaker, that these persons who invested $30,000 or less were in the majority. And there were public announcements. We gave an update. Every Minister of Finance in the OECS gave an update as to where we are with regards to, including this present Minister of Finance, Dominic. And we have to understand the complexity of this arrangement. It is not the government that can say, well, tomorrow morning, pay out. It's the courts. The decision to pay out reside solely with the courts of those separate jurisdictions. That's why they appointed a judicial manager. The judicial manager is not answerable in law to me as the Minister of Finance or to Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves in St. Vincent. They were not appointed by us. So it is the courts that will determine what happens with the assets of British American and CLICO. What we have been doing as a government, recognizing the impact this has had on citizens of our countries, is to get involved in an extraordinary manner. Because it's not the first time, Madam Speaker, that people invest and they lose money. It happens every day. We have threatened to sue both Barbados and Trinidad, Madam Speaker, as an OECS, because we have maintained that while we may not have many assets in Dominica in respect to British American and CLICO, but what CLICO and British American own belong to the people who have invested in those companies. And we have not ruled out the issue of taking the principals to court. Has always been a consideration. But the question is, which one do you do first? Which one do you have the resources to allocate time first? Do you go and try to negotiate and get the people's money back? Or do you spend the resources to go after the principals? And we took a decision in the Monetary Council that it will be in the best interest of the region and the investors at this time to proceed with seeking to recoup some of the monies that people have invested.
As a matter of fact, he says regional governments ought to be commended for getting involved in this way. On the subject of the devastating losses suffered by Dominicans through the crash of these insurance companies, Honorable Dr. Skerritt advised.
Any investment scheme that is coming to offer you more than what the bank is giving you, anytime you talk about 6, anytime you talk about 6 and up, stay away from this.
He says, however, regional governments are leaving no stone unturned to recoup as much as possible. Meantime, according to Honorable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Senator Robert Tong, new legislation in 2012 now provides some level of protection to policyholders.
Over 40% of the premiums that you collect on an annual basis are placed in those funds. But the insurance regulations goes even a step further. During the period of insurance, you may have claims, and those claims may not be settled. We consider those to be outstanding claims. Those outstanding claims also have to go into the insurance fund, so that again, if the insurance company goes broke or belly up, it means that your outstanding premiums will be in that insurance fund to ensure that the regulators can use those funds to pay out to another company, or to ensure that if it is passed on to another company, that other company can take over your unearned premiums and also, very importantly, your outstanding claims. And I dare to say, on an annual basis, I'm aware that the insurance regulators of Dominica go to all the insurance companies to ensure that the outstanding claims, the unearned premiums are placed and are available.
He went on to say that those funds are kept in Dominica. Newcomer, Honorable Member of Parliament for the Soufriere constituency, Dennis Charles, was also sworn in on Monday. We'll bring you more on that sitting of Parliament in Tuesday's newscast.
A student of the Roseau Primary School has topped the list of this year's Grade 6 National Assessment. At a press conference on Monday, the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Seja, announced the top 5 performers.
From the Roseau Primary with 4 A's, Hamish Blaise, followed by Jada Madison Joseph from the St. John's Primary, 4 A's, Megan Vidal, St. Martin's Primary, 4 A's, Nishante Leblanc, St. John's Primary, 4 A's, and Samuel Naomi Samuel Williams, Ebenezer SDA, 4 A's.
9 primary schools were recognized for having outperformed the other schools on the island. These are the Pioneer Preparatory School, Convent Preparatory School, Berean Christian Academy, St. Martin Primary School, Ebenezer SDA, Concord Primary School, Clifton Primary School, and Warner Primary.
I extend congratulations to all students who sat the examinations, performed to the best of their abilities, and are now on their way to secondary school. I wish to specifically single out the students who topped this year's exams. This, to my mind, is an indication of your hard work and commitment. Your industry and determination are commendable and should be pursued as you continue your academic journey, as well as influence others around you to excel in like manner.
More students sat the Grade 6 National Assessment this year as compared to last year. While more boys sat the exam, their underachievement still remains an issue. Senior Education Officer of the Curriculum Measurement and Evaluation Unit, Robert Geist, gave an analysis of this year's National Assessment.
If we compare the results, we see that we had a very insignificant drop in the performance in Language Arts 1. It moved from 39.7 to 39.1. The average, the overall average in terms of percentages, we had 65 last year, 64 this year. In the Language Arts Paper 2, we have a slight increase again in the composition by almost a full mark. We had an increase in the mathematics, which came from 38.27 to 39.1%. In the language arts, we had a slight, in the science, we had a slight decline from 33.8 to 32.6. And social studies, a very, again, insignificant decrease from 33.5 to 33.3. As we can see, the results this year and last year, there was no major difference.
Geist also noted that the Western District outperformed all other districts in every subject area this year. Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine extended congratulatory remarks to the top performers.
I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate all the students, their principals, teachers, parents who worked hard to ensure that the students were successful at the Grade 6 National Assessment. It is an achievement that we hope will be maintained as the students move on through secondary education, and we ask that the support given to them during the primary school period be continued with some added measure of supervision.
Students who topped the list with 4 A's, 3 A's, and 1 B, 3 A's and 1 C, or 2 A's and 2 C's will receive government scholarships. Students who received 4 B's and better but who did not meet the criteria for a scholarship will receive bursaries. 94 students have qualified to receive scholarships and will receive $500 towards textbooks and other materials, while 100 students have received bursaries this year and will receive $300 in assistance from government.
In related news, a top performer at the Grade 6 National Assessment says he is not surprised that his hard work has paid off. Hamish Blaise of the Roseau Primary School topped the list this year with 4 A's. GIS News spoke with the youngster moments after the results were announced by the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Seja.
Well, I didn't exactly react, but because I expected my placement in the results to be pretty high. That's what I've expected all along. So, and it came a little bit as a surprise, but I sort of was expecting it.
Blaise spoke of his plans for furthering his education.
I'd like to go to SMA.
Why that?
Well, I believe it would help me in my academic studies. My mother tells me it has a lot of good subjects, and I do believe that it would help me go forward in life. I'm a really scientific child. I like to do a lot of things in science, like geography, meteorology, astronomy, things like that. I was studying hard, always working every time I came home from school. I would do past papers so I would get an idea of what would happen on the common entrance. And my teachers helped me a lot along the way.
His teachers say he has been an exemplary student, always focused on the books.
He has always been a child who is focused, so even when the others are playing, he will always be reading or doing something related to a book, always in a book. And he is quiet and someone who is not, like running around and everything. He is just a different child.
The Roseau Primary School was used to house some people displaced by Tropical Storm Erica well into weeks after the storm. GIS News spoke with teachers of the top student who said despite the effects of the storm, they were able to help the students to catch up.
During that time, I allowed the children to come to school. We were meeting so we could continue our studies. Although the rest of the school were at home, they had a lot more work to do. We stayed longer in the afternoons because we realized we had lost a lot of time and we had to catch up. And the parents had a part to play. Some of the parents, they were always there coming to find out about their children. We were speaking to them, having meetings more than before, asking them to help and just be there for them.
Jada Madison Joseph of the St. John's Primary came in second with 4 A's. Other top performers were Megan Vidal of the St. Martin's Primary School, Nishant Blanc of the St. John's Primary, and Naomi Samuel Williams of the Ebenezer SDA. All students attained 4 grade A's. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
In the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
As the Catholic Church around the world recognized John the Baptist of the Gospels, the community of Tetmon celebrated the 100th birthday of their very own John Baptist Watt. Watt is a man with a small frame, but he is strong. His youthfulness certainly challenges that of recent Centenarian Mionette Banis of Paybush. He still walks to and from church every Sunday and up till February of this year still tended his garden. President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre and Mrs. Savre, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Granby constituency Justina Charles, and Minister for Social Services Catherine Daniel all joined the celebration last Friday.
As Minister of Social Services, I have been privileged to attend one of 2 centenarians celebration. I just hope this is going to rub off on me. So I too can one day celebrate that milestone, but this is a big and a huge milestone, and it only comes with the blessing of God.
Watt lived in Guadeloupe for over 30 years and bore no children. He and his wife Lydia Watt have been married for 26 years.
Thank you for my husband. Thank you for the 26 years of marriage, and God bless him for that long life of 100 years. His families and friends who are close to me and dear to me. I thank Lord for everything, and I really thank you everybody.
His special day was celebrated with a mass followed by a reception at the Tetmon Resource Center. His relative from the neighboring French island of Guadeloupe also joined in the celebration.
Pour moi, c'est un honneur, c'est un grand plaisir d'être avec eux et de voir que tout le monde alentour pour soutenir lui, pour bailler force.
Honorable Justina Charles, who is a close friend of the couple, reminded them of government's commitment to centenarians.
I know Mr. Watt has been living in Tetmon all of his life, but just to highlight some of the things that the government will continue to do for Mr. Watt, we know at a certain age, after age 70, they do not pay for any hospital fee. That will continue, so Mr. Watt for sure is entitled to free health care at the government institutions. We know that Mr. Watt will now be receiving $500 every month. Any Centenarian, government gives them $500 every month to help in their cares and in helping to take care of them. So he will definitely be receiving that. He'll also be receiving his gas, his cooking gas. So he'll be given a cylinder of gas and to be refilled every time it is emptied. So definitely he will be getting that.
This new centenarian has proven that he is indeed strong. His only ailment now is loss of hearing. However, he has certainly not lost his voice, his sight, and his sense of humor.
It is better for me to lose my ear than my sight, because if I could not see, I would not know who are there with me today. So far, I can see Mr. the President, the parish priest, my representative, police officers, families, neighbor, friend, and so on. So I have to thank you all very much for coming.
He also credits his long life to the blessing of his godfather, whom he took care of as a young boy. He has outlived all his siblings.
Today, I am 100 years old. So who knows if I will not pass another couple of years on that. So today is the first and final day I will see you all here with me, passing an hour or so. So I have to thank you all very much.
Watt received gifts from His Excellency Sabre, the Tetmon Village Council, Ministry of Social Services, and the Member of Parliament for the Grand Bay constituency. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole, non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre de l'Éducation, bien plaisir pour annoncer le résultat grade 6 aujourd'hui. Officier ministre de l'Éducation, en parmi ministre de l'Éducation, honorable Peter Saint-Jean, a adressé conférence média aujourd'hui.
Ça fait nous plaisir pour déclarer au public là qui résultat grade 6 national assessment nous avons une fois encore qui les enfants tout en Dominique a fait bien et il est important pour nous comprendre qui les enfants qui en ces grandes écoles là gros l'école qui ont une grande population et aussi les enfants qui en petite école qui ont peu enfants yo qui travaillent bien ça veut dire l'école là pas vraiment déterminée c'est pas population et l'année ça là nous observons qui nous avons un problème qui a continué ça c'est ces filles jeunes filles qui travaillent meilleur passé ces jeunes garçons là et ça pour nous en ministre éducation c'est un grand problème mais nous allons continuer à adresser problème ça là aussitôt l'année ça là ministre éducation nous allons travailler ensemble avec OICS et aussi USAID là nous allons mettre un programme en place qui nous allons créer Early Learners Program. Ça c'est un programme là nous allons essayer d'adresser manière enfants qui travaillent en mathématiques et aussi en anglais puisque en tout en pays OICS nous avons un grand problème à nous mettre problème ça là pour adresser problème nous mettre programme ça là pour adresser problème ça là en grade K pour arriver grade 3.
Honorable Saint-Jean fait parole musique qui a mis en place pour adresser problème sujet étudiant qui expérimenté.
Moi je veux dire que ces enfants là qui ont fait meilleur en l'examen là nous ni 5 et nous ni premièrement rendre l'école Premier Roseau, nous ni Hamish Blaise. Et aussi nous ni Jada Madison Joseph, Rod St. John's Primary en Guantans. Nous ni Megan Vidal, Rod St. Martin's Primary. Neshante Liblanc, Rod St. John's Primary. Et nous ni Naomi Samuel William, Rod Ebenezer SDA en Roseau. Moi, je voulais complimenter ces 5 enfants qui travaillent bien et aussi tous les enfants qui font bien en l'examen là. Et aussi, moi, je voulais complimenter ces teachers là, ces maîtres et maîtresses de l'école là, et aussi tout officier entre ministre éducation qui travaille pour éduquer les enfants.
À la nouvelle, le département quarantine Dominica a appelé assistance officielle de l'autre pays qui a assisté à combattre la maladie fruit fly qui a affecté produits citrus en pays là. M. Ran Ansem, c'est chef département quarantine Dominique.
Nous, à Dominique, comme ça, nous avons patché maladie avec bête qui a affecté plan. Avec plant protection and quarantine unit à ministre agriculture. Ça nous a fait, nous a mis en place pour nous regarder comment nous avons gommé contre ces maladies. Nous sommes bien contents, USD et FIS, ils ont travaillé ensemble avec nous, pas seulement Dominique, mais pays comme Trinidad, Grenada, Saint Vincent et Saint Lucie. Dominique, nous avons un problème avec fruit fly. Comme vous savez, fruit fly qui a affecté comme mango, guave, cherry, et ces bagages. Ça là, fruit. Nous avons un problème avec fruit fly, nous passons à voyer mango, avec ces bitins ça en Amérique. Pas seulement en Amérique, badler nous, ça ou anglais fait un hot water treatment.
Ansem qui fait parole si pour actuellement recevoir.
Nous travaillons avec USDA. USDA c'est département agriculture en Amérique pour que nous support avec ND pour nous garder pouchi fruit fly là qui a affecté Mago et il pas affecté en Grenada et Saint Vincent. So nous avons un problème à Dominique là fruit fly là qui a affecté Mago nous. C'est le premier host qui est anglais. En dedans Saint Lucie avec ces places là qui a affecté d'autres fruits comme plomb. So ça yo ka le faire ou que ça anglais en morphological characteristic. Yo ka regarder pour chi ça qu'a fait, yo ka analyser. Nous ni des consultants yon qui travaille en Cali Trinidad et yon qui travaille en fruit fly qui en Saint Lucie. Yo la ka aider nous pour nous garder comment nous ka faire ça.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson. Au revoir.
It seems soda, coffee, and energy drinks are all around. If you always keep bottled water on you, then you can sip it throughout the day. Even better, add fruits and veggies such as limes, oranges, cucumbers, or coconuts.
Add frozen fruit to your water. Take it a step further by adding a few frozen pieces of fruit into your water. It will make your plain glass of water look pretty, and it's actually refreshing. That's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also now available on our channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Kerdisha St. Louis.
And I'm Shaakira Pierre. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.